light came in through the perfect stream in the sky.
Yes.
When you're in alignment. There's no way that there's all these trees and leaves and branches all sticking out in all directions, but in the one little space that's available for the light to come through, it's hitting both my hands and it's even activating as I speak with it. It's light bending. It's light bending. See that?
Yeah.
Everybody want to be doing telekinesis and what's the other one? Telepathy. Practicing moving objects with your mind. And really with the etheric fields, because there's 5 elements: fire, water, earth, air, and the 5th element that nobody talks about is ether, that's the element that connects all of them and goes in between all of them. And that's your electric-magnetic field, your etheric field, the combination of all 5 of your senses, your 6th sense. So don't let them trick you into believing that the 6th is evil, because that's your 6th sense, that's your 3rd eye. And 6 plus 3 is 9. Your 6th sense, your 3rd eye, 6 plus 3 is 9. Yeah, so 6 is powerful. You got 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons that make up melanin, the chemical compound for carbon, which is what everything is made of, is melanin. No matter what color you are, technically you're a melanated, hue melanated being. So that's the number. That's the power of the 6. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. Then you have your 6th sense, also known as your 3rd eye. The 6 is also the Virgo. The house of Virgo is where the golden spiral originates from. So the house of Virgo, that's about your health. It's about the details. It's about the organization, the articulation, the communication, and the sensibility of it, how it feels, how it looks. Anyways, this is not any particular message except for stillness in the light, as we summon the light in the beginning of this video as an example of what's going on within is always going on without or in your environment. Although reality is scripted, there's many different shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy, so on and so forth, movies that predict certain things that happen to come true in life. So whether reality is scripted or not, play your role. Understand what role you are here to play as a star. And these are Carl Jung's words, that we are all made up of the same components of decomposing stars. So your star matter, your star makeup, right? So in this scripted film, orchestrated film, which star are you? Tap in. See you on the other side.
Which star are you?
This star shines. If you're on this page, you know which star this is. This is the Royal Syrian Council, the Universal Broadcasting Center, also known as the Galactic Center, the Empire, Ra, Ma. Ra, the Galactic Father, Ma, the Earth Mother, coming together in one fashion, in balance between the divine feminine and divine masculine. In Greek terms, they call it Sirius. I had to give you the preliminary, and then in Greek terms, they call it Sirius, which is what is, you can say, the gateway to heaven is, which is a piece of your consciousness, a piece of yourself. As above, so below, as within, so without. Right. We'll get into that later. Be you.
What would you like the people to know?
Really, the commercial warfare that's happening. We are in a subliminal, really silent war, and it exists in the frequencies. And I know that sounds so woohoo or mystical, but this is why they went to World War I. The world went to war the first time, right? It's because they started to change the tuning of music production from a 432 megahertz frequency to a 440 megahertz frequency. This threw musicians into an uproar. They were like inflamed because music has a natural harmony to it. So when they changed it to 440, they silently mutated the cells in a way where they were able to reduce the amount of oxygen now a cell can receive based upon the signal that's being transmitted to the cell. So now it's 440 hertz is what's coming out the radio, it's what's coming out your speakers, it's what's coming out your headphones. So this 440 hertz is actually taking away oxygen from the cells only by a little bit though. It's only 8% of oxygen is removed from your cells. But at that point in time, once this oxygen is removed from the cells, you start experiencing different forms of cancers and viruses in your cells. These are not mosquitoes that are actually landing on me. This is some other sort of fly. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling. It was bigger.
So, anyways, oxidization is the process of oxygen being removed from the brain cells and causing lack of memory, causing lack of focus. So that's what's happening. You know, we're in a state of lack because we are not receiving enough oxygen, the right amount of oxygen, not just because of that subliminal frequency, the change on the signals, but also because we're not in the right environments. You know, you're caught up in the house. You know, if you're not in the house, you get in the car, you go into another building or department that you're in. You're not even getting access to direct sunlight. Knowing that the sun is quote unquote millions of miles away, scientifically it takes 8 to 9 minutes for sunlight to directly hit the earth. So if you're outside and you're just going from your house to your car to your job, and you're not outside for at least 8 to 9 minutes, you're not even getting direct contact with the sunlight. So it's like little things like that where vitamin D deficient, you know, in many different realms, and that vitamin D is what produces your bones, and your bone marrow is what produces healthy blood. And your healthy blood is what allows you to breathe very well so that you can have the oxygen that you need. It's fine, very simple. Commercial warfare in all realms.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You have a very descriptive, detailed, intelligent response. Thank you so much for your time.
Talk for forever. Thank you for your questions. Ask Steve. That's a segment I always wanted to start, like ask or ask infinite. You know, because the more you ask, the more you receive. It's just the cosmic law. You know, what you put in, you know, you're gonna get out to the degree of that in which you're putting in. And of course, it's much more detailed as to why do certain things happen, even though I'm intentionally putting in certain energy this way, but it's not coming out. Typically, it's attachments. You know, you're not just one being. You know, all of that which you love or that you relate with, your relationships, everything's the culmination of you. So whatever you put in, all those things are also put in. That's why it's like certain families, like the Hasidic Jews and the Muslims, that they're really tight on their culture. They're really tight on their rules and regulations. And that's how they progress and expand as a family. It's very important for us to be very tight on ourselves in this awakened state and what it takes to be there and to stay there, not just with ourselves, but with others, because we are in a culmination of one another. And as we put out energy in forms of creational projects, what people are doing is either adding or subtracting, dividing or multiplying from that. So if everybody in your field is multiplying, then you'll get to that point faster. That's why we created the Private Wealth Club, And Rama Ministry is a faith-based organization where individuals who have tapped into this awakened state of remembrance to come together in status correction, in asset protection, in estate planning, and in corporate development. It's important to enter, and understand the purpose of why you are here. And the only place better to do that than the Private Wealth Club is Rama Ministries, which those are vertically integrated. So you can't miss with understanding how to unlock that ancient DNA and how to break the generational curse to unlock generational wealth. This is the place: asset protection, corporate development, and estate planning. For more information, simply send a message or leave a comment, and we will get back to you on how you can further your spiritual evolution. That being said, we'll see you next time. Royal signing out.
Pleasure.